All right, so today's page 7. We're going to start just the introduction to ecosystems. So you have it says the stability of an ecosystem is important for survival of organisms. So what do you think makes a stable ecosystem? A couple things is it has to have a stable ecosystem, has to have the following characteristics. Its populations, meaning the animals, the plants, anything needs to fluctuate at a predictable rate. So fluctuate means go up or down. Predictable means like we know when it's going to happen, or we can see that it's going to happen. So just like the phases of the moon, we know when it's going to be a full moon or a new moon based on it's predictable. We know what's going to happen. So even if the number of animals decline, there has to be a balance maintained, that not all the animals are going extinct. The supply of resource fluctuates at a predictable rate. So the resources, there's 4 things. You have water, food, shelter, and space. Okay, those are the 4 things that are a resource that animals and stuff will need. And so as resources are used, as the cow eats the grass, as the flowers die, there has to be more that appear. If there's not more that appears, then you are going to run into the problem of things going extinct, disappearing, etc. And because of this, energy flows at a consistent rate. You need to have energy flowing. Like it needs to go, producers make it, primary consumers use it, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, decomposers, scavengers, so on, that the energy is constantly going. So remember we talked about this in class on Thursday. Energy flows in one direction. Arrows represent energy. It's always going to start with a producer and go to a decomposer. So you have producer, herbivore, which is a plant eater, carnivores, which are meat eaters. Could also be omnivores there. Omnivores are things that eat both. And then decomposers, the things that is going to break it down, puts it back into the soil to grow again. And it's constantly kind of going in that cycle. So we talked again on Thursday. So cycles of matter continuously occur in that ecosystem as well, meaning matter is any physical substance, things that you can touch, paper, pencils, physical, you can see it. So the water cycle moves water in the solid, liquid, and gas phase. Liquid, rain, solid, ice, gas in the atmosphere. Oxygen moves primarily in the air and water. So we breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants take in the carbon dioxide, make oxygen. Plants are also in water, meaning when they make the oxygen, it's released into the water. H2O, hydrogen molecules bond with the oxygen molecules to make water. We talked about how fish are able to survive underwater because there is oxygen in there. Some of them aren't able to process the oxygen, so they come up to the top of the water. Third cycle is carbon. Carbon is continuously processed in photosynthesis and respiration. What I just stated, we breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants take it in. They go through the process of photosynthesis. They convert it into oxygen. Oxygen we breathe in, and we use up all the oxygen. And we go through respiration. Remember, respiration is the opposite. We talked about it as cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the opposite of photosynthesis. Last one is nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is the main element in air. It is found in waste and used by the plants. So in the atmosphere, I told you, there's many gases that make it up. Nitrogen is one of the biggest, most molecules of nitrogen are found in the air. And then it's found in waste, meaning the product. Remember, different animals, different plants have different types of waste. Bacteria has a different type, anything that gets something that it cannot use, it gets rid of. And it's used by plants. So when it's back into the ground, plants are able to use it. They're able to fix it, to bond it differently, to be able to be used again. So that is it. Yeah, that is it for page 7. I'll get page 8 up in a little bit. I hope you all have a great weekend.